Welcome back to the Cyber Strategix CISSP series. Domain 5 is Identity and Access Management, or IAM. It's about making sure the right people, and only the right people, get access to the right resources. Let's dig in. Domain 5 is about 13% of the exam. The heavily tested pieces are the OAuth framework, authentication factors, and the access control models. Get these crisp and you'll handle most IAM questions with ease. Here's the map. The OAuth framework, authentication and its 3 factors, the access control models, and the identity lifecycle from onboarding to offboarding. We'll take each in turn. Access control follows a sequence. First, identification. You claim an identity, like a username. Then, authentication. You prove it. Then, authorization. The system decides what that identity is allowed to do. And finally, accountability. Actions are logged and traceable back to you, which is why you never share accounts. Identify, authenticate, authorize, account. Authentication relies on factors. Something you know, like a password or PIN. Something you have, like a hardware token, phone, or smart card. And something you are, a biometric, like a fingerprint or face. Multi-factor authentication combines 2 or more different factors, which is far stronger than 2 of the same kind. Also know location and behavior as supporting factors. Federation lets identity span systems and organizations. Single sign-on lets a user authenticate once and access many systems. Convenient, but it makes that one login high value, so protect it with MFA. SAML is the long-standing enterprise standard for federation using XML assertions. OAuth handles delegated authorization for modern apps, and OpenID Connect adds an authentication layer on top of OAuth. Know the access control models. Discretionary access control, DAC, lets the data owner decide who gets access. Flexible, but inconsistent. Mandatory access control, ABAC, enforces access through system-wide labels and clearances, rigid and used in high-security environments. Role-based access control, RBAC, grants access based on job role. It scales beautifully and is the most common model in business today. The modern model is attribute-based access control, or ABAC. Instead of a single role, it evaluates many attributes together: who the user is, what they're accessing, the action, and the context like device health, location, and time of day. This enables fine-grained, dynamic decisions and is the engine behind Zero Trust access. It's more powerful than RBAC, but also more complex to manage. Identities have a life cycle: joiner, mover, leaver. When someone joins, provision exactly the access their role needs. When they move roles, adjust their access. And critically, remove the old access, or you get privilege creep. When they leave, revoke everything promptly. Regular access reviews catch the accounts that slip through. Stale and orphaned accounts are a top cause of breaches. 2 principles underpin good IAM. Least privilege means giving each identity only the access it genuinely needs, nothing more. Separation of duties means splitting a sensitive process so no single person can complete it alone, which prevents fraud and abuse. A related idea is need to know, restricting access to only the data required for a task. For very sensitive actions, also consider dual control. Lock in these essentials. The access control sequence: identify, authenticate, authorize, account. That MFA means 2 or more different factor types. The 3 classic models, DAC, MAC, RBAC, and how ABAC adds context. The joiner, mover, leaver lifecycle, and prompt revocation. And the principles of least privilege and separation of duties. Here's the big idea. As the old network perimeter dissolves, identity becomes the new perimeter. Every access decision, who you are, what you can do, and under what conditions, is now the front line of security. Master IAM, and you've mastered the control point that matters most in a zero-trust world. That's Domain 5. Subscribe to Cyber Strategix to continue. Domain 6, Security Assessment and Testing, is next.